الحمد لله وكفى وسلام على عباده الذين اصطفى أما بعد فأعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم ومن آياته أن خلقكم من تراب ثم إذا أنتم بشر تنتشرون ومن آياته أن خلق لكم من أنفسكم أزواجا لتسكنوا إليها وجعل بينكم مودة ورحمة إن في ذلك لآيات لقوم يتفكرون صدق الله العظيم وبلغنا رسوله النبي الكريم ونحن على ذلك من الشاهدين والشاكرين والحمد لله رب العالمين. Surah Roum. In the previous ayat we had read that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has created signs for people in this world, but people only pay attention to the superficial aspect of this world and use it to their benefit, but do not understand the reality beyond everything that this world is proving. Now here in this side of ayat, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has mentioned 6 signs which are there for everybody to see, and irrefutable signs which are clearly pointing towards the Creator, which is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. The first one is creation of human being. وَمِنْ آيَاتِهِ, and it is among His signs, أَنْ خَلَقَكُمْ, that He has created you, min turab, from dust. So the human being, the origin of Sayyidina Adam alayhi salatu wassalam, was from dust, and also all human beings that come forth afterwards, they come from their parents, and the parents get nourishment from the dust. And ثُمَّ إِذَا أَنْتُمْ بَشَرٌ تَنْتَشِرُونَ, from clay, from dust you were created, and then soon you are human beings scattered around. So traditionally the 4 essential things which create things, or from which all matter comes forth, as the philosophers of the past and at that time also, they said that everything is, these 4 materials, they include everything is made from these: fire, water, air and dust. If you look at those 4, each of those has some movement naturally, but not dust. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala created human being from dust, that even if you raise it or throw it, it falls down. And then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala created a human being out of it, and it is such a creation of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that it spreads around and has populated the whole earth. Something that did not move, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala made something which is moving and spreading around with that dust. This is a major big sign of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's authority, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala being the creator. وَمِنْ آيَاتِهِ, and among His signs is أَنْ خَلَقَ لَكُم مِّنْ أَنفُسِكُمْ أَزْوَاجًا, that He has created for you wives from among yourselves. So that same dust, that same clay, that same process of procreation and then development, and then Allah chooses one to be, sometimes it comes out as a man and sometimes it turns out to be a woman. It is all in the hands of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. If you think about it, it is totally, science says it is totally by chance. It is by the control of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, from that same material of creation and those exact same conditions, Allah creates men and women. لِتَسْكُنُوا إِلَيْهَا. Another sign is that it is unique that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has created a relationship between these 2 kinds of humans, men and women, and that relationship is for giving tranquility, that each of them in the existence and in the relationship with another finds peace, comfort and tranquility that they cannot get from anywhere else. لِتَسْكُنُوا إِلَيْهَا. From here the ulama have said that this relationship, if there is no sukoon in it, if there is no tranquility in it, then this relationship is not serving the purpose. So we should check, are we a source of sukoon, tranquility, comfort for our better half or not? If we are not, then truly they are the better half. Anyway, لِتَسْكُنُوا إِلَيْهَا وَجَعَلَ بَيْنَكُمْ مَوَدَّةً وَرَحْمَةً. And it is Allah who created between the two mawaddah and rahmah. Mawaddah is from wud. Wud is love, attraction. Wa rahmah, and kindness. So the relationship in young age, in youth, is based on attraction. And when people grow older, then this attraction takes the back seat, and rahmah, mercy, kindness towards each other, that they have spent such a long time with each other, then they have mercy and they have kindness and they have a relationship with each other. Allah is the one who has put that attraction to begin with, and Allah is the one who has created that rahmah or the mercy or the kindness for each other. So therefore we understand that the Quran is only talking about a long-term relationship through marriage, through nikah. Otherwise, those relationships that are not based on Sharia, then they have anything but tranquility. They have anything but sukoon in them. إِنَّ فِي ذَلِكَ لَآيَاتٍ لِقَوْمٍ يَتَفَكَّرُونَ. Surely therein are signs for people who reflect. وَمِنْ آيَاتِهِ خَلْقُ السَّمَاوَاتِ وَالْأَرْضِ. And among his signs is the creation of the heavens and the earth. وَاخْتِلَافُ أَلْسِنَتِكُمْ وَأَلْوَانِكُمْ. And difference of your tongues and colors. Again, the essential matter of creation is the same for every human being. Even science says that we human beings are very similar genetically, but it is Allah that from same essential essence of creation, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala creates someone to be of a darker complexion, somebody of a brighter or a lighter complexion, somebody who speaks in a certain way, somebody who speaks in a different way. All of those are therein, there are signs of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Inna fi dhalika la ayatin lil alimin. And surely in these there are signs for the persons having knowledge. Definitely knowledge is here, and in the language of the Quran and Hadith, language is only knowledge is only that knowledge which takes one to their Creator. How much time? وَمِنْ آيَاتِهِ مَنَامُكُمْ. And among the signs of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is manamukum, your sleep, bil-layli wan-nahar, in the night and by the night and by the day. وَابْتِغَاءُكُم مِّن فَضْلِهِ. And your search for His grace. إِنَّ فِي ذَلِكَ لَآيَاتٍ لِقَوْمٍ يَسْمَعُونَ. Surely in this there are signs for a people who listen. So that sleep that you think that automatically comes to you, did you ever think about it, that how Allah is the one who has created the night for you, and He is the one who gives sleep to you. Sometimes it so happens that we feel that we are very tired and we are going to sleep right away, but we are not able to sleep. Sometimes we even take pills and we are not able to sleep. And sometimes when Allah wants, we even sleep during the day. So sleep during the night or the day, all of that is a sign of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, how an active human who is doing everything, and now it goes into a state where they don't even know what's lying right next to them. They don't even know what might touch them, what might harm them. Further, the dreams that we see, how our spirit travels into a world that we have never seen or never known, and how we experience things so vividly that sometimes we get scared for real and we experience it as if we are there. All of those are signs of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. وَابْتِغَاءُكُم مِّن فَضْلِهِ. And that we seek the grace of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, which means that we search for our livelihood. Even that, in that whole system, there is a sign of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, such a perfect system that runs on its own, nobody could have created, nobody could have thought of. That Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala created the needs, then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala created the means of fulfillment of those needs, and then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala created the desire within a human being to fulfill those needs and to work for that, and based on that there is a system that is built that is working and benefiting everybody. So وَابْتِغَاءُكُم مِّن فَضْلِهِ, this is not a very simple thing. Therein there is a great big huge sign of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So there is these are some of the signs that we read tonight. Inshallah, we'll continue reading tomorrow night. One thing that should be mentioned, that Hakim al-Ummat has mentioned, that all of these signs Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has mentioned as a blessing. So in the creation of the skies and the earth and the benefit that we take from it, our own creation and how we scatter around, we like to move around, we like to move from place to place. In the creation of our other half and the other gender, and in creation of love and affection towards it, attraction towards it, in the love for them, and in mercy and kindness for them, and in the difference of tongues and colors of human beings. All of these, in the night, in our sleep, and in our searching for our livelihood, all of these are great, not only signs of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, but also mercies of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So there is no harm in using those things within the limits of Sharia. There's no harm in going after and searching for our provision, no harm in earning, no harm in being attracted towards one's spouse or having a relationship with them. All of those things are a thing of blessing. ربنا تقبل منا إنك أنت السميع العليم وتب علينا إنك أنت التواب الرحيم اللهم اجعلنا من أهل القرآن الذين هم أهلك وخاصتك وصلى الله تعالى على خير خلقه سيدنا مولانا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين آمين برحمتك يا أرحم الراحمين.